Oh, welcome back to Divinity Said. I am going to read today Sarah Boone, the suitcase murderer woman's letter to the court dated June 7th, 2024. Here it is. It is handwritten. First page is, I guess, her cover sheet. It was filed in court. It looks like June 20th. Honorable Judge Kranick. Ongoing 5 years, ... Why can't I use my constitutional rights? Am I the only one who cares about the ongoing violations of? Have a bond? Have all my medical records? Have all my digital evidence and discovery? Have all my paperwork, notes, letters, pictures, everything of mine returned by former attorneys? Speak to my investigators? Have a complete download of my phone? Have any of my witness lists? Give any insight, understanding, clarification, truths about my case, especially to my attorney? Be listened to by anyone, especially my attorney? Be respected for who I am, truly, especially by my attorney, and not be disrespected for the mutated, malicious murderer all the world has falsely and correctly created and believed me to be? Be treated fairly, lawfully, and be protected by the justice system? Properly, rightfully, completely defend myself? See all and know the same as the world can and does, including my attorneys, from all the phenomenal, non-permissive amount of my entire case being available online globally before my trial, and most important, before I have seen myself? What does anyone, quote, know already about my case? How about my side is everything about everything? Be correctly understood that I am not the problem for reasons I am. And I am in. What the hell does it say? Why can't I be correctly understood that I am not the problem for reasons I am on my something appointed by the court attorney. Number 8. See my letter from 7/21/2003. And why can't I say what I want and should, but all the world can, and say it all wrong and warped? That's her first series of why can't I. Next series of questions are, why won't my attorney give me an honest answer? Show me everything she says she has and finished reviewing for my case, but withholds from me after I ask repeatedly for and about? Give me an answer other than I'm putting this to rest, quote, that's not necessary, or, quote, I'm not having this conversation with you, end quote. Grant me access to anything I ask for in and about my case. Like the detectives in my case, stop putting words in my mouth. Tell me what's going on in my case. It's been well over 100 days has been my attorney, and I still do not know ongoing 5 years. Answer any of my questions. Ever ask me any questions? How can she supposedly know, quote, everything she needs to know, end quote, from what she's been told, heard, read, or seen? Reassure she's on my side, for me, not against. Why have I already been judged in the court of public opinion? How did that happen? Why have I been sentenced by anticipation and condemned before my predicted trial? Why does my attorney and all the world think my case is already over? Your Honor, during our first introduction at my last withdrawal of court-appointed attorney number 7, Hobson, you stated to me your involvement with any of my letters I write. I'm still going to write my letters as conduits they are to the world where all my potential jurors are located, and this is the only way anyone, including yourself, knows the very necessary insight to my continued disadvantages, hindrances, impediments, and I'm still experiencing on top of the new spurring my intentions to rise, I think. The race to the pulpit is unfair, and it is important to me that, quote, "you are aware and understand what transpires when the news cameras are off and we are in between my status hearings." 2, as so many of the advantageous embezzlers, racketeers, mindless lemmings, and just altogether mean people can use their freedom of speech, not knowing me in any way other than what's being said by all the other mean people and being said incredibly incorrect, so can I. As the compelling, annoyed detectives in my case, um, I have no idea. Something had to falsify documents and even wore his gun for me to see. I'm sure you are familiar with, after watching all my plastered, highly misconstrued, over 300 plus million views, just one site interviews, and in which they both repeatedly attempt to feed me their incorrect, incomplete, hypothesized opinion by stating to me, quote, "everyone has their limits," end quote. At this seemingly endless point of perpetuality of nonsense and lawlessness still growing, and I very much want to advance to the next level after ongoing 5 years now. A genuine concerned limit has been reached. Why am I still not being included in my case? How much more of my case and self is being added hourly, especially after this letter gets loose, to the internet, increasing the mass infection and destruction of my hopes to have a fair trial? Anything fair, my side foremost, and wondering how, if my attorney drank the punch like everyone else. All aforementioned reasons, and so many more, for this letter to be written, hoping to deter some of the unfair, one-sided anger pointed at corruption, pointing at corruption and malpractice being directed at me only, underlined, by those in the, quote, justice, end quote, system, who, when one trying to deflect the shame and shock from me, who are trying to deflect the shame and shock from me, fearlessly challenging the status quo, and it must be so because it is my face on the computer at the same time on the boob tube television, brainwashed, ignorant followers of followers or disbelievers, conformity and greed, trying unsuccessfully to make my life by character assassination seem worse than theirs. Knows too, when anyone points their finger, one, it's impolite, and two, three point back at you. How many tried it to see? Put the stone down, as there will be no casting of anything today, except maybe for the role of my new part for all the pre-conclusioned, quote, documentaries, end quote, and crystal ball real life stories of, quote, true crime, end quote, incorrectly formulated from everyone supposedly knowing me and judging who they think I am, what really happened and is going to futuristically. Remember, 3 point back. Soothsaying is not a real job. To sum it up in the words of my attorney, after I told Google after I told her to Google me, she stated, quote, "there's a lot." To sum it up in the words of myself, the defendant, stated to my attorney after she stated that to me, when can I see? How much longer do I have to wait, or how many attorneys must be withdrawn for me to be included in my case and be included more than the world presently is? This is my case in every aspect. See all my aforementioned ongoing 5-year questions. I'm still waiting on for answers. Page 7. Also, I want to make it known I walked out on my attorney in our last meeting due to her unwarranted, uninformative, unprofessional, snotty attitude and her untruthful answers to my questions and beyond. The quote, retarded vicious circle, end quote, we enter every time we meet is a waste of time. And I'm saying that being in jail, and I'm saying that being in jail with supposed endless amounts of time, I guess. How she treats me is extremely prejudiced, hostile, and unconcerned. She is very frustrating. 1, to to balk or defend is an endeavor. To induce feelings of insecurity, discouragement, and dissatisfaction in blank. 3, to bring to nothing. So much I presented my solution in order to coexist with and work together in a hopeful, progressive, positive, appropriate manner. I added pretend judge, quote, to our interaction so she could calm down and ease up on her condensation conden condension condescension. Okay, I can't read. Condescension, offensive demeanor, and obvious prejudgment. She seems, like everyone else, not to remember I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. She treats me as if I am not. After my introduction and for explanation for with pretend judge in the room or on the phone, I'm trying to help her understand how she is making herself extremely unwelcoming. When in front of a real judge and in the courtroom is how she should treat me, her client, at all times. I should not have to invent pretend judge in order to be, and am not at all wrong for wanting to be respected. No matter the outcome, I am innocent until adjudged otherwise. My attorney, everyone's, should be fair, unbiased, trustworthy, honest, supportive, informative, protective, automatically, and effortlessly. I should feel secure, highly confident, proud in her, quote, representing my life. I do not, and have said to her many times regarding her monumental disbelief in me and my case, which I believe contributes greatly to her her I don't so fucking hard. She has nice handwriting, but some of these words are hard to read. Contributes greatly to her something attitude towards me. I am hoping by this letter she will pick up the sword of injustice and fight alongside, not against me, and so many unmotivated, overwhelmed, weak attorneys prior who bowed out ungracefully and crept away from the battlefield unsuccessfully. My case equals bizarre, equals unknown, equals different, equals ignorance, equals understood, equals unfair. Oh, misunderstood, equals unfair. This does not mean my case can't equal success, and it may, and in many, and in more than one way. While everyone continues to ring their, quote, bells of malevolence, end quote, I am ringing mine of hope, honor, plausibility, boldness. Listen, I am not a murderer. The justice system should equal fair, faith, trust, respect, innocent until and if adjudged otherwise. 3 points back, Sarah Boone. Confused cat meme. Yes, thank you. June 4th, 2024, video visit, 12 minutes. In addition to my previous letter intended for hand delivery on 6/7/24 at my, quote, status hearing, today my attorney made a video visit to go over everything I've been asking her for and have also sent to her personally in 2 letters, dated May 20th and May 25th. All of the public video visitations box were on both sides of me, less than 5 inches away from my visit. Other inmates were having their visits also. I have explained to my attorneys numerous times previously in writing and verbally that despite the noise level, I do not in any way feel comfortable having in-depth private meetings regarding my entire criminal case on the visitation box where there is no privacy whatsoever and held in an open bay dorm with more than 62 other interested all ears inmates. I cannot fully participate, if at all, from the entire dorm, officer included, trying to participate also in my case. As always, my attorneys did not listen or care after I repeatedly tried reminding her of my unsecure environment, barking at me, I can, quote, listen or not, still going over speaking and not at all allowing me to respond. Still going over speaking and not allowing me to respond. After repeating to her over and over and over while she's beginning to speak louder over me, still to please schedule an in-person meeting where all can be discussed further privately with no success of being heard, I disconnected the visit telephonically. She uncooperatively, she uncooperatively, she's impossible. See previous letter or ask her for a copy of the two I sent her. I was trying to remedy or lessen before sending this to you, Your Honor, and not having to include. Now it's a race to the pulpit. My question, please, who acts like that and still be able to call themselves, quote, professional? The visitation box is primarily for family and friends to connect. And if a guest or if a visit, what the fuck does that say? And if a something from an attorney, reminders, notices, quick questions, not high-level confidential case information. Maybe that says visit, I don't know. She, like other former attorneys who always, always, always blame their dysfunctions on me, said, quote, you don't like the answers I give you, end quote. What answers? See page 1, 2, 3. I'm not the problem, except that I want to and should be treated fairly with respect, acting more professional than the paid, quote, I've been doing this for over 40 years, quote, professionals. After so long and in all the experience, common courtesy, customer service, and listening skills should have been acquired. All attorneys, do you remember why you even wanted to be one? Remind yourselves. No one listens and it works in everyone's favor but mine. That I am a, quote, murderer stuck in jail so they can pin it on me, their uninterested, unmotivated, hopeless, quote, they're going to leave me over her, quote, haughty attitude. I am not wrong for not thinking less of myself because everyone else has and does. This present attorney foremost. The justice system expects me and other inmates, aka clients, to accept its subpar, nonchalant, hypocritical, quote, next on the list, end quote, attorneys they keep aimlessly throwing I don't know, for and something appointment, praying they don't withdraw. I don't know what she's saying. All caps. I have not fired my attorneys appointed in my case. From me expecting the highest equal standard possible for wanting the absolute best outcome in my preposterous, mismanaged case. And representing myself is not an option, as both judges have now threatened me with from being outspoken and intelligent in all my observations of the ongoing abuse I am and have experienced. I have no new experiences from it always being the same, quote, blame Boone. I refuse to be moved in wanting respect, no matter who everyone thinks I am. Clarity, inclusion, honesty, and professionalism. And another great reason not to have my case meetings on the public visitation box is my personal confidential inmate information, such as my visitation list, 2020 to 2023, with names, etc., my interactions with inmates and officers, where I eat and when, my personal jail calls also being thrown online for what? To hate me more or to try to get others to become too because I don't eat breakfast or because I know some Latin have short hair. My penmanship is nice, or because I'm not getting fat and sleeping all day, but rather fully applying myself, fighting still, making everyone upset for not having to fabricate something, splice and edit, mutate, splice and edit. The world apparently, quote, knows all. What's next? How many times I go to the bathroom and what functions I perform? Yes, if you could. No one knows anything, nor seems to want to, from being comfortable in their corruption and striving to be on top with ratings, websites, and money. My case details, if anything, if anyone forgot, and if you think about it, all that keeps getting plastered and plagiarized, posted, and poked fun of about me. And it's all in my favor, proving myself right about all the mindless lemmings, shut-ins, the justice system, advantageously abusing and profiting from everything in my case, before my trial and before I've seen. Please be sure to read my attachment for Rule 3.220E, restricting disclosure. Am I the only one who thinks of these things? When can I win? If anything, it's coming. It's coming. I am not the problem, and if anyone were to slip on my slides and have to experience, tolerate, deal with any of what I have and am, would bravely be doing the same. Don't knock it till you try it. 3 points back. Race to the pulpit. Again, always. Sarah Boone. West Florida statutes annotated. Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure. I'm not reading this. That's how you know she has a lot of fucking time. She's just letting the judge know because the judge can't read. So she thought she'd just write it out. That's smart. I'm just making sure that this is more. I just want to make sure that wasn't her writing. American Declaration of Independence, Florida Constitution, client. Oh, where we're going is your definitions. Zealous advocacy, attorney misconduct. Duress, habeas corpus, informal consent, legal ethics, equal protection of law, abuse of process, interrogation, examination of a suspect, the process of inquiry. This is interesting because we all know that it was in her interrogation or her questioning where they found the video. Excited utterances. Okay, what's this? Publicity, exploitation, and saturation. United States map, page 1. Today, each star is a state where I have received correspondence via mail or message regarding my current criminal case. World map number 2. Today, each star is a continent where I have received correspondence via mail or message regarding my criminal case. Okay. The number grows daily. Most all letters and messages are available for review and understanding of the impact of my case details being made readily available on the global internet, creating wrongful ignorance, hate, and massive prejudgment before my trial. I, the defendant in my case, have not yet ongoing 5 years fully reviewed or even seen all of my case details, anyone in the world has already had the opportunity to do so themselves. The continuation of the obvious exploitation allows the world to keep pressing their incorrect, presumed unfair theories, ideas, accusations, forcibly insinuating I committed criminal acts. My present attorney said it is not necessary to receive a court order I've been trying to attain to download my case information to apply from the OCCD tablets. My former attorneys are withholding some of my case contents I have supplied to them and which have been deemed lost. Many other items have been returned, not to myself, but to the next attorney, and which have been unable to be located to date. I am missing innumerable case items which I continuously request to be returned or obtained without success. Invasion of privacy, Supreme Court, wrongful conduct. 1. Appropriation, the unlawful use of a person's name or likeness to attain some benefit. Intrusion, physical or electronically intruding into one's private quarters. Public disclosure of private facts, the dissemination of the truthful private information which a reasonable person would find objectionable. Defame, what else do we have? Invasion of privacy and false light. Publicity exploitation and saturation. Is this her talking? Criminal cases being advantageously exploited and abused from all of my significant life-saving suppressible case details, evidence, proof being illegally attained by coercion, trickery, duress, confusion, and without my permission, in any form, written or verbal, to anyone, then broadcasted, distributed, hand-delivered to the entire planet, states, countries, continents, containing all of my potential jurors, causing irreparable, erroneous falseness, greatly tainting my jury pool altogether by forcibly attributing heavily influenced, incorrect, inappropriate motives, theories, ideas. This obvious exploitation and invasion of my privacy is creating unnecessarily unlawful oppression, depleting all of my entitled opportunities to be given a fair, proper, successful conclusion of my case. Something prejudgment has already been made unfairly against me from the undeniable violations of my constitutional rights and due process of law as a result of my entire case and personal life being publicized globally before my rightful trial, in which lawfully, ethically should be without disadvantage and free from all I don't know what this is. Free from all something, deceitfulness, and dishonesty made from said evident exploitation. More definitions. Okay, so judge is a retard. We're on page 52. More definitions. Rightful, lawful, ethical, evident. This is all just copy from a book that she wrote so the judge could see her sources. And then it ends with the FOIA Act information. So that's the whole letter. Wow, that was a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Sorry that I had struggled through some of her words. But that is Sarah Boone's June 7th letter to the courts. Stay tuned.